And then we're going to pull it out and put the bechamel sauce on top. It's basically like a white sauce, a bechamel sauce. It's got a couple tablespoons of butter in here. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of flour.
It releases, it's called esters, and it's not Esther Williams, it's the esters are the chemical components that have the
Well, I didn't
phenols.
see anybody swimming out, so. Food. Time to eat. Lasagna, vegetarian lasagna over here. That was the first thing that we put together. Hi, this is Judy Keys with Cooking for All Seasons, and I have with me today my friend Sarah, who is a sommelier. That's a wine. Explain a little bit what's a sommelier.
A certified sommelier is somebody who's gone through certification on blind tasting, on wine knowledge, and service at the French Culinary Institute in Campbell. And I actually didn't attend the school. I just studied for about a couple of months and did it. So.
But you passed all the tests too.
But I'm green. You know, I've got a lot to learn. But
I have much more to learn. So, and then she also is my webmaster. And so when you go onto my website, ta-da! So anyway, today, so I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And
I'm
later,
happy to be here.
she's going to give us some information on some of the wine that we have here today. I'd first like to say thank you to Trader Joe's and to LJB Farms and to the Aber Family Vineyards, and that's who the wine she'll be talking about, and Frontiano olive oil, and Maria, who's a friend of mine. She's also a firefighter. She created a lot of the pottery that you'll see here today.
really beautiful.
So we're going to start because we have a lot of cooking to do. I just wanted to tell you that, you know, in California we're really lucky because we get fresh vegetables and things all year long. But the foods that I'm making today can either be made in the summertime with fresh or in the wintertime with either frozen or whatever, you know, you have in your garden, because we're going to be making a vegetable lasagna.
Yum.
And we're going to be making a chicken cacciatore my way, and that's with a little bit of Italian sausage in it. Some pasta.
I like it.
Pasta with cream and fresh basil. However, using pesto sauce and that would be fine. So the things that we're making today can definitely be switched around to whatever you have available in you know, at whatever time of the year. And that was the whole idea of this, so that you could have a gathering at any time of the year with your family and have some different things. So we're going to start off making a lasagna, vegetable lasagna, with a no-boil pasta.
What is no boil pasta?
Okay, so I'll show you.
I make cat food and coffee. That's pretty much all I do. So
But she has a really beautiful cat, so she must be doing something right.
I have my priorities straight. So
So this is the lasagna noodles, and they're really paper thin, and they're really neat to work with. They really are.
does it say no boil on the box?
Yeah, it actually will tell you no boiling required. And actually, in the recipe on the back, it tells you don't boil, because it's it picks up its moisture and everything from the sauce that you put in.
Oh, how cool.
And you can see how absolutely paper thin. And when you use this
Wow.
pasta, I really like it. I know there's some different companies that make the same kind, but when you use this, it will taste more like a homemade pasta than anything. And I made homemade pasta. And
Because it absorbs the
it
ingredients
actually
around
absorbs the moisture from the sauces and everything, and it puffs
Yeah.
all up and it gets
Yum, yum.
very, very, very good. So we're going to start off right now, because we have a lot of cooking to do. We're going to put our sauce in. I'll tell you what I did already, because this is just some marinara sauce. Use whatever you like. If you have your own marinara sauce that you like to make, or just fresh tomatoes and water and making your own sauce, or however you like
Can I
to.
take that for you when you're done?
Oop. Okay, luck. All right, didn't flash onto the floor, but you can use marinara sauce. You can use whole packed tomatoes. You can use whatever.
What about
whatever you
sun-dried
like.
tomatoes?
Well, you could add sun-dried tomatoes to this if you wanted to, but sun-dried tomatoes are really strong. So if you're going to do that, you want to dice them up pretty small and put it in. You still need the sauce. You need a basic sauce. So this marinara sauce is kind of a light flavor.
So does marinara sauce mean it's marinated somehow?
Well, let's see what this one has in it. Okay, this marinara sauce.
It's not spaghetti sauce.
No, it's made with vine ripe fresh tomatoes, virgin olive oil, herbs, some vegetables, herbs, with fresh vine ripened tomatoes. It's low fat, so it doesn't have a whole lot of olive oil in it, though I really like a lot of olive oil in my
I do too.
In my sauce, but you can add that. But I like the flavor of this. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna warm this up, and I've already marinated. I mean, I've already sort of not marinated. What do I mean? I pan fried the vegetables for you. There's mushrooms.
And what kind of mushrooms would you use?
Any kind you like.
Really?
I mean, because it's vegetarian, so whatever kind you particularly care for. If you can use portobellos.
Doesn't portobellos simulate beef in a lot of...
Yeah, you could use. The only thing is that if you're going to use portobellos, you probably want to slice them pretty thin because they're kind of meaty.
It'll dominate.
Well, they're meaty, you know. So we're cooking already here.
So you got mushrooms.
I have mushrooms. I have carrots. I have a zucchini that I shredded. I have 2 kinds of onions. I have a red onion and I have a yellow sweet onion. So it's winter time and I can't get that. You can always get onions, you can always get mushrooms, and you can always get carrots.
Yeah, yeah.
So
China, that's what China's for.
You know, if you like, most of our vegetables actually in the wintertime are going to be coming from...
Garlic comes from China too.
Yeah.
So there's no garlic in that?
Some garlic.
Oh, there's some garlic.
There's some garlic. You could add as much as you want. There's olive oil, salt, and pepper, and some Italian seasoning. And I put the Italian seasoning in when I'm sautéing the vegetables because it makes the flavor and the oils and stuff from the dried herbs burst out. We're going to add some fresh basil to it, but if you didn't have fresh basil, because basil in the wintertime, fresh basil is a little on the high side, you know, so you could use some pesto. However, my trick is that if you buy some basil and you're not using it all, chop it up, put some olive oil with it, put it in a little baggie, and put it in the freezer.
That's pesto, isn't it?
Well, pesto has all the other ingredients in it. It has the Parmesan, it has the toasted pine nuts and everything. So, but you don't have to do any of that. Cool. And the garlic. So this way, all you basically have is basil and olive oil. So you can use it in anything. Because once you introduce pesto to something, you're going to change the flavor because it's the pine nuts or whatever kind of nuts you use. Some people use walnuts, some people use pine nuts, some people use almonds. It just depends. You're going to change up the flavor. Okay. And if you want to, that's fine because this is vegetarian. So I'm just going to add this to here. And basically, that's going to be our vegetable sauce. Now, I mean, everybody has, I mean, you could do eggplant in here. You could do any kind of, and like you were talking about portobellos, you really could just pan fry, or saute, big piece, you know, like the whole cap and put it in the lasagna.
That sounds actually really good.
I mean, that would be like putting, you know, actually pieces of meat, you know.
Yeah.
But it would be good.
A little bit more hearty.
Yeah, it would be a much heartier.
For this winter.
Yeah. But we're making some chicken cacciatore today. So that's why I thought, we want to do a little bit lighter. So, and we've got some fresh basil, and I'm going to put that in. I mean, like I said, this is, you know, fresh basil was available, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. But if I didn't, I would just pull my basil and olive oil out and break off a chunk of it and stick it in.
It's amazing, though. I've started buying, like, the fresh dill, and you gave me the basil plant.
Yeah.
So, like, you have especially the Roma tomatoes with the buffalo mozzarella, and then you do the fresh basil. It's just crazy good.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, what else is good is to slice an orange with that.
An orange into...
An orange, yeah. You put an orange, and then you put
Tomato.
the tomato, and then the buffalo mozzarella and the
Really?
basil. Yeah.
And you actually,
Oh, it's
okay.
wonderful.
Next
So,
party.
Next party. We're always eating around here.
Always.
So in here, this is the ricotta cheese
Ricotta.
and a couple of eggs. Okay, and you want to go ahead and mix
I
that?
would love to do that.
And then this is
I'm cooking, look.
This is spinach, and you know the spinach, you don't have to sit there and squeeze it because this is frozen spinach. You get it all year round. You don't have to worry about it. You want to use fresh, that's fine. But this is just as good. And
I have to smell things. It's
lick the
disgusting.
spoon. So we're going to put this in here. I dried it out actually in a pan. You know, I just sort of put the spinach on a frying pan and just watched it real closely and actually let it dry out because we don't want it too wet. Then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of, this is nutmeg.
Really?
Yeah, that's my,
Nutmeg and lasagna.
oh yeah, Italians use nutmeg. And then we're going to put some,
Nutmeg also comes in a regular bottle, and it doesn't have to be in this fresh with the
oh yeah, these are,
That's cool.
These are, I'll tell you something, do yourself a favor, go and get some little, you want to see what they look like? Yeah.
like little nuts.
Yeah.
Like betel nuts.
Yeah. Get some fresh nutmeg because fresh nutmeg tastes much better than nutmeg that's already been, you know, done. Already been, what do I say? Shredded, ground. So now we're putting in, this is some cheese. This one is some Parmesan Asiago and Fontina and some provolone. Put in whatever kind of cheese you like.
I could just eat that out of the bag. As a
Oh,
matter
yeah.
of fact, I do just eat it out of the bag. Out
It's
of the
good.
refrigerator.
It's good. This is a good mixture. And then I have some, this is some Parmesan mix. I just like a lot of cheese.
So, like, are we putting in a pound? Are you're just kind of doing it by feel, aren't
just
you?
by feel.
But when we have the recipe for the website, we'll be
Yeah.
more specific.
It's probably around 2 cups or 3 cups, you know.
And ultimately, how much will all this serve? How many
Oh,
people?
we're going to make it in this, and also we're going to add these roasted peppers. Oops. See, I decided to do roasted peppers in the jar. Oops.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm fine. I decided to do roasted peppers in a jar rather than, you know, fresh peppers because they're already done and they're roasted and they have a little bit of a different flavor. Now this is some mozzarella. So we got a lot of stuff going on.
So this looks like it would feed 10 people.
Oh yeah, because it's going to be like this high.
This
and
is
then
a
when we
great party
finish it-
dish.
Oh yeah. So yeah, so figure this is, I don't know, 9 by 13, 9 by 15, and it's got to be deep. It's got to be a couple inches deep,
That
2 or
I-
3
I-
inches
that I
deep, or else
understand.
you're.
And you
But-
preheat the oven.
375, and then we're gonna put all this in. We're gonna do the layers. I'm gonna start right now. I've done some olive oil. So first thing, we're gonna take a spoonful of this and just put it at the bottom.
Do you have a convention oven?
A convection.
Oh, convection.
Yeah,
I told you I don't
close.
cook.
Yeah, and actually, I've already heated my oven to 375, but.
Which is the max for one of those types of oven.
Well, no, it cooks, convection ovens cook 25 degrees.
Less than a regular.
Yeah, less than a regular. So if it says 375, you want to put it on convection, you want to put it at 350. But I heated it to 375, I'll turn it on to convection. It also cooks faster.
Because it goes all around it.
Yeah, it's air. It's warm air circulating. So now we're starting. This is it. We're on the road.
Okay.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da.
So we're going to put one, I think, how many slices are in here? There are, I don't remember. What does it say? This makes 9 by 13. I don't know, there's like 15. So we're going to put 1, 2.
No salt and pepper.
3.
I haven't heard anything about salt and pepper.
Well, all the vegetables were salt and peppered and you got cheese in there.
That's salt.
Yeah. So you want to go, well, I don't really want you to try that because it has raw egg in
I'm
it.
not
No,
gonna try it.
no, I was just thinking that you should try it.
Oh, I have an
But
iron
then-
cast stomach
But I don't like eating
because I
stuff.
have to eat my food sometimes.
Oh.
That's why I can eat dirt off the floor, and I'll be fine.
So here we're going to put down a layer. Can you guys get this? I'm going to put down some.
Have you ever made these guys before?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know. You know, I don't. Everybody does.
Life's hard enough without doing all.
Yeah,
that.
everybody does their layers differently. Some people put the cheese first and then this. So
the egg is a coagulant.
Yeah, it's a coagulant. You got it.
Thank you. I'm improving my ability to speak English, assisting you.
So then we're going to do this, and then you have to use. Oh here, it's easier. We'll do this. Did I get you?
No.
Oh, so you're going to taste it. I mean, you can if you want to, but I just
No.
I probably will.
Okay.
Don't look. It's got raw egg in it. It all depends. I'm not telling you guys to do it. Probably should have tasted it before it had the raw egg in it, but there's got enough salt in it.
If we pass out on camera, the viewership will
They'll
increase.
know. Yeah.
So.
Okay, so then we're going to put our second layer, and this time I think we're going to put the cheese first. Okay. Cheese first.
When do these guys go in?
Oh, jeez, I'm so glad you said that. You know, if it wasn't just, sitting there biting me in the face, I'd forget. But that's okay. We got plenty. Let's just put these right here. So you want to taste one?
Yes.
I knew she did. I knew she did. So, I mean, if you want to roast your own and you want to cook your own, that's fine. I mean, you can, or you don't like peppers, don't put peppers in.
They're just really refreshing.
They
They
give a
add some
nice
pretty
flavor.
color. Yeah, that's a nice flavor. Now, how do we get the crust on the top?
Okay,
That's the part I like the best.
yeah, the cream, because I do a bechamel sauce, which is cream and butter and cheese on this one. So, okay. This is going to cook in the oven for about 40 to 50 minutes. And then we're going to pull it out and put the bechamel sauce on top. And we're going to put it back in the oven because we'll take the foil off first. That would help. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what else nutmeg is used for. That's where my brain's going back to.
Well, why I use
Is
it
it
in
a Christmas thing?
yeah, nutmeg's used.
Oh,
in
the drink.
Yeah. Which drink?
Hooch. Isn't there a hooch drink with nutmeg in it?
I don't know. I know that I use it.
A Christmas drink. What is that?
Oh, they use it in cookies a lot.
There's so much that we drink at Christmas, I can't isolate anything. I'm thinking about it now.
Well, see, this is a good dish for the holidays.
It's red.
Yes. That would be one thing.
And you get to have garlic bread with it.
Yeah.
So what kind of bread are we having with us today?
We're going to have a tomato and olive focaccia.
Gotcha?
An olive focaccia. It's an Italian. So see, we're going to do one more layer. Okay, so we doing...
Pick a card, any card.
So how many we had? There's 4, 8, 12, 16. So I mean, it kind of depends. If you're doing like really heavy meat, if you're going to do like a really heavy meat type of sauce, then you may have to use you may only be able to make 3 layers rather, and need to put more than 4 pieces of the pasta.
Now when a pasta dish like this is done and you take it out of the oven, does it sit for a while?
It has to sit for at least, I like it to sit for at least 45 minutes. So you can make this in the morning and let it sit, and it will be somewhere warm by the time you eat it. You could then maybe put it
I
in
like
the
my food
oven.
hot, if it's supposed to be hot.
Put it back in the oven. You just have to be careful you don't want to overcook it. So You could make, oh, okay, so make it in
Now
the
I'm
afternoon.
confused.
Make it in the
Now I'm
afternoon.
confused.
No, don't be confused. Make it in the afternoon. You know, like, some people make things like this the day before because it's a lot more work than what you
Stew's better
think.
the day before.
Yeah, this tastes good the next day. The only thing is you just want to make sure that you, it's not,
So we didn't, okay, there we
we're
go.
going to. I just want to show you that I don't really think that there's this real order of things. You have to put this first and that second, and you know, I think you just need to just get it in there. I want you to try it. I don't want you to be worried about in what order I did it. Now you can tell I've done them all in all different orders, right?
Yes, thanks to me telling you you hadn't.
Yeah, I forgot the peppers, but they were sitting right there in front of me. You know, sometimes.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes, she's my official helper girl today. Helper woman.
The hand.
The
You
hand.
said I was the hand. Whatever that means.
Well, you know, when you do this, and you know, and I know that they understand that I do all the cooking myself, and sometimes I just need somebody to hand me something
To remind you.
and to remind me.
How many shows have you done so far? You guys have been doing this
I think
for.
we've been doing this for maybe 8 years or something like that. It seems like.
And how did it start? How did you start the? Was it called Cooking for All Seasons?
No, it was called. I think it was called Keys to Cooking, if I'm not mistaken.
It's actually a good name.
Yeah, that was like during the. I think it was during the. What do you call it? Right before the .com bust, I think. And, it was. But we had fun. We still had fun. We did a lot of shows. Okay, I think we're here. We got to get this in the oven. We got other stuff to do. Okay, so then we're going to. Oh, let's put some more sauce on it. There's always room for sauce.
What is Clem's favorite dish? I know it's a dangerous question. Clem, are you around here?
Oh, my
He likes
husband,
them all, right? He must have a
just-
favorite.
He's just an eater. He's my, I don't like to say he's my guinea pig. Because I had to test out certain things, So here's our top layer. We're going to kind of press things down.
My favorite thing is the paella.
I know. She likes it.
I got it once and then never again.
Oh,
It's,
she's making me feel,
what do I have to do?
She's making me feel guilty. I wouldn't think that.
This was incredible. And the reason it was so incredible is you did the rice after doing the sausage, so the rice had all that wonderful sausage taste to it.
Yeah, paella is just one of those dishes. Maybe we could do something like that, that would be a good, fun thing to make. There's so many different kinds of paella.
There's a lot of different types of paellas.
Seafood and chickens with sausage and everything. So we're
And
done.
you've seen those paella pans that are like the size of a table.
Oh yeah, in Spain they're huge.
Yeah, a lot of catering companies
Okay,
do
I'm
that
gonna run
here
the
now.
water. Can you hear the water running? Sorry, I had to rinse my hands because I had major stuck. So we're gonna put some foil on this, and we're gonna pop it into the oven, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Chicken cacciatore with the twist.
Okay.
You know what chicken cacciatore with the twist?
I know what chicken cacciatore is, but not with a twist.
The twist is,
You do the twist?
Well, afterwards we all should be doing the twist because this is not real fattening. Okay, This has got chicken that I've browned in olive oil with salt and pepper, and it's got Italian sausage.
Would you ever add a little butter to the olive oil for certain things?
Yeah, actually butter tastes really good in spaghetti sauce. That's like sort of a hidden thing that they do in Italy a lot, is they actually, they put a couple pads of butter in it. It smooths the tomato
Makes sense to me.
out, But we're trying to be good and only use the olive oil.
All right.
Trying to be a little healthy.
All right.
Though I really did. It's funny you should say that because I was tempted to put a little bit of butter in it, but I didn't. So we've got browned. You can use chicken breasts, chicken thighs, chicken legs, chicken wings. The only thing is that if you brown it and you got all the skin on it, if your family likes it with the skin on it,
Yeah.
the thing is, but it's going to cook. So sometimes the skin kind of
And
falls.
doesn't the breast cook faster?
Yeah.
So
Again,
how do
I
you-
don't use the chicken breast.
Yeah.
I'm just not a.
No, I think the dark meat.
I like the darker meat. I think it has. Well, I think it has more flavor to it.
I do too.
You know, but I have a girlfriend who absolutely will not eat a chicken breast, a chicken thigh, or a chicken leg. So if she
More
was
for us.
here, I'd have to put some chicken breast in it. So then in here I have green pepper, which to me and cacciatore has to have a green pepper in it. There's something about the flavor of a green pepper in cacciatore that just makes it. Green peppers are really odd. Some people don't care for them. A lot of people make stuffed green peppers. So I've already, and I put carrots in it because to me carrots
Sweet.
are sweet. They add a little
yeah.
sweetness to it. When I sauteed everything, I put in some Italian seasoning. Oh, no, no, I haven't put the Italian seasoning in yet.
Notice
But-
the incredible bowl, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
this is from my friend, Maria.
Beautiful.
And so we're going to add some Italian seasoning because there's a lot of seasoning in the sausage. So have to be a little bit
You haven't talked
careful.
about this thing yet.
Oh yeah, the chicken and the Italian sausage. That's my trick. Okay.
Divine.
That's
That's divine.
spicy Italian sausage. If you don't like Italian sausage, don't put it in.
It's really good.
But that's to me, that's flavor. So I'm going to add all this in. I've already sautéed it. So this is going into the big pot because it does have to cook. Even though you have put in, even though you've put in you've already kind of cooked the chicken, it still is not cooked all the way.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to explain something to you. If you heard a little hum in the background, that was my convection oven making a humming sound. So I've changed it from convection to bake, which isn't going to, the only thing I did was turn it up another, some more degrees, about 25 degrees up, and that it'll just take a little bit longer. But you won't hear the hum. So, sorry. But I wanted to tell you, this is a beautiful spoon my daughter bought for me. It's by a certain company. It's by Gray Klein, and it's a tasting spoon
Let me see.
for when you're cooking. Isn't that cool?
And then shouldn't we have that really pretty little thing that you put your tasting spoons in, like a little...
Oh yeah, we
You know.
should, but I'm not so.
Okay. Do you
I
have
have-
one? I know
yeah.
what to get you for
I
holiday.
have one. I have one over there.
Okay.
I have a couple. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to slice some garlic. Now, people will say it doesn't make a difference. I like sliced garlic in certain things. It just gives it that flavor, but it doesn't give it a real pungent flavor.
So it's a more subtle
Yeah,
way
it's just
to
a more subtle
get
way.
garlic
So
in there.
this is my garlic slicer. It makes really neat slices.
Oh, neat. It's like a mandolin.
Yeah, it's a mandolin. It is. It's a safer you don't probably want to do this. But you know what else this is really good is if you do this and you have a little bit of hot olive oil. You have to be careful though, and you like do the garlic into the olive oil, and then it gets toasted.
I can smell it.
And it's really good on top of things. You know.
So those are the size of fingernails.
Yeah. Little pieces. I just like it. I like it in this dish. So I put it, I don't know, 2 or 3 cloves. And now we're going to put in, you got
Now, let me ask you another question about this Italian sausage. What else is in there with it?
this is Italian sausage.
Just period?
Just period. I just took it out.
Browned up?
It was in the casing, and I just took it and
Okay.
browned it in a pan.
Oh, you browned it, okay. Browned it.
I browned it. And there's some chicken, because the chicken is not completely cooked through, there's some juices, pan juices, that are going to be going in here.
And so this is going to be cooked stovetop. It's just going to be heated.
This is a Dutch oven, and this is going to be cooking for probably I would probably cook this for nothing less than an hour.
So did this used to be the Dutch's ovens? This Dutch oven? Was this like a fire, and then this was it, and that was their cooking area?
I don't know, but Dutch oven has been around from time one. They come in all different kinds. This is a stainless steel one, but they make Dutch oven and all kinds of materials. And probably it was, if you see the way they used to cook when the way back time, and they cooked over a stove,
Right.
over a fire,
Right.
that
It was a pot. And
it
actually, it was a pot.
that hung. Now there's different kinds. There's a Dutch oven that has like a rim around it, but it's called something else. And what you do is you like start a fire, and then it actually you actually put the hot coals and stuff, or hot wood at that time, or coals really still, on top and actually cooked the heat. You know, the heat was like on both, up and down. So, yeah, Dutch ovens have just been around for
and they
like
used to make
forever
their
and ever.
soap. They used to wash their clothes. They would
I just
cook.
want you people to know out there that this woman is incredibly bright, and she probably knows more things than
I know a lot about.
that I
don't know
do.
a lot about anything. I know a little bit about a lot.
Yeah, she really does. She's very, very. I don't know. I like to say intelligent
Judy, I'm embarrassed.
or bright, but this is a person I go to when I need an answer to some questions.
Except a lot that I've asked today that I haven't a clue about.
Well, some of them I don't know
What's
either.
nutmeg going into?
Oh, nutmeg. It's going into eggnog.
Eggnog.
So now we're gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna use my hands because these are whole packed tomatoes.
They're called plum tomatoes.
Yeah, see, these are like a San Marzano.
Okay.
So I'm actually gonna use my hands.
Ooh, what a nasty noise. Excuse me.
Okay, and we're having fun, and I'm doing this with my hands. I probably should have. I just washed my hands though before we started this. So we're just gonna squish these in here, and you can see this. This one happens to have. You'll see some little green things.
I asked you about those earlier.
And that is because these tomatoes were cooked with basil.
Basil.
And you'll find that a lot with Italian
So are
tomatoes.
these stewed tomatoes?
No. Stewed tomatoes are tomatoes that have been cooked with celery and spices and onion. They specifically say stewed tomatoes. These are whole pack tomatoes. And these are San Marzano style, meaning it's a particular style of tomato. So now I'm mixing this, and I'm thinking, and I mean, I think that everybody needs to sort of look at what you have in your pot, if you can see, and make your decision. Do we want some more tomatoes? Well, I'm kind of thinking we want some more tomatoes.
I think we want some more tomatoes.
So we're going to add a second one in. So, can you hear that? I hope you can't hear that buzz. You know, technology is very strange, and you're supposed to turn your cell phones off and everything, and I try to remember to turn it off. However, this time I didn't turn it completely off, and now it's buzzing.
It's moaning at us.
Yeah.
It wants some cacciatore.
So, okay, so we got the tomatoes in here. I mean, this is like something that every Italian family, and I'm not sure exactly, like I said, we're going to have to find out exactly where it came from. And probably makes it all different ways.
Generally, you can tell by the ingredients.
Yeah, but this one doesn't have any cream or
really like
anything
being
in
Italian.
it. It's got chicken, so they probably, in Italy, could possibly be using, I would think, not chicken, but they may be using rabbit, which is very prevalent in Italy.
When I lived in Piedmont, outside of Torino for a while,
See what I
you
mean?
had rabbit, and the little bunnies, they actually tasted really good.
See?
No, they didn't taste like chicken. They taste like
that-
wabbit.
Like wabbit. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add, this is Italian seasoning.
You keep on saying that. What's in Italian seasoning?
This one has
Oregano.
some oregano, some rosemary, probably some dried basil in it. Whatever kind of dry Italian seasoning that you use, go ahead. If you have,
We have the rosemary outside.
if you have
growing.
rosemary, the only thing is you got, and this is some,
Rock salt.
no,
Oh.
no, this is dried chili peppers, little chili, because a lot of
Not too
Italians-
much.
not too much, but if you go to any Italian home, I mean, everybody has their own mixture of what they like. If they want to use fresh, what I was saying is that rosemary you have to be very careful about. Rosemary is very pungent and will take over a dish. So you just have to be careful about, putting it into a dish. So now I'm just going to go over to the stove and I'm going to deglaze the pan of which I was browning the chicken in. So
So deglaze means what?
to remove all the good specky
the good stuff.
all the good stuff.
Give me a piece of bread. I would take care of that
Yeah.
right now.
So I took off some of the oil because you don't want all that oil because you know what's going to happen is the oil that you put into the dish is not going to dissipate. In other words, it's not going to become a part of it. It's only going to float on top. So you end up taking it out anyway. But a little bit is okay. That's all right. But you don't want to have, once it starts cooking, the oil
So what are
will
we cooking?
rise to
What
the
are we
top.
cooking?
Oh, we're going to deglaze it with some white wine.
And then what?
And then we're going to put it in there. But what I'm saying is that since that chicken was browned in olive oil, there was more olive oil in here before with the fat from the chicken. And I poured that off because you don't want a lot of oil.
It almost looks like pancetta.
Oh, you mean the little specks?
Which
Well,
is
that's
my
the...
favorite thing in the world. I was a cow in my last life. I want a salt lick as my headstone when I die. That's why I take high blood pressure medicine.
So I mean, this is the good stuff. This is where all the flavor goes.
This is really what I'm really interested in is this stuff.
So then
I'm
we're
just
gonna,
kidding.
I don't know, half a cup. With you can smell it now. And then just scrape the bottom of the pan to get all the good stuff up. You're going to put the wine in anyway, so you might as well. This way, you'll cook off some of the alcohol in it.
We don't want that.
We're going to have. You remember, you're going to show us. We have some really good red wine from the.
Oh, another question I have is garlic. Actual garlic pieces, that would be the last thing you would put in a saute pan because I understand they burn quickly and they get really bad. So you really
you could that's why I just put it in like I did. You're going to get pretty good flavor out of that.
Yeah.
But if you put the garlic in, you could have put it in when you're cooking, when you're sautéing the vegetables at the very end.
At the very end of whatever.
At the very end of that, you could. But you just have to be really careful because once it starts browning, you have to take it off the heat because it'll brown very fast.
And it gives a bad taste.
But once it gets burned, you can't. There's nothing that will cover it up.
No. Is this a good? I'd like to ask your viewers that go to the website, the Cooking for All Seasons website. I wanted her to kind of have a segment where you send in questions like I'm asking, and she'll just like answer them. Like, how do you really do a hard-boiled egg? What's the deal with the garlic? I mean, people have tons of questions like that. Just really idiosyncratic.
Well, it's like I said before. If I don't know
kitchen voodoo.
If I don't know it,
kitchen voodoo
we'll
page.
Find it out.
But if you're interested in that, email and we'll just start answering your questions and build a big database of that stuff.
Yeah. So see, doesn't that look pretty?
Yes.
Actually, this is the way you make gravy. You make gravy like this. This would be, if you're making if you were just going to make the chicken and make mashed potatoes and gravy, you could just use this and then put in your cream.
So this is a basis, like you could add Marsala wine to make a chicken, what's it called?
Chicken Marsala.
Marsala, right.
Okay, that's it. Let it cook for a little while. We're going to put it on the stove, taste it, adjust the salt, and so that's it.
I just heard a study. They're saying that salt's not that evil.
I don't know. My heart doctor may disagree with me.
I know.
Okay, you guys. We're going to put this on the stove, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're making some, it's basically like a white sauce, a bechamel sauce. It's got a couple tablespoons of butter in here. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of flour. And then we're going to put in some white sauce. We're making white sauce. Hold on.
How is this different from a roux?
A roux. A roux is where you use some sort of fat, usually an oil, and you brown the flour. They use a roux when you're in to make gumbo, and it gets real brown. And I mean, that's like a real technique. I mean that's like if you're in New Orleans and somebody's making roux. I mean, some people. They just have it down pat. You have to be really careful because you're basically frying the flour, and that's what it's like well, think of toasting it basically.
Okay.
That would be the roux.
Bechamel. This is bechamel.
Yeah, this is a white. It's basically a white sauce. A lot of Italians, and this is going to go on top and on top. Let's see. We have some heat here. Would help, and a little hit of nutmeg. See all those things.
We could have eggnog afterwards.
Yeah.
I
So
haven't had that in years, though. Actually.
what, eggnog?
Yeah.
Well, it's it's just one of those things. You guys, we took this out.
I think I got sick on it once.
Well, it has. What does it
Ugly
have?
truth.
What does it have? Eggnog has bourbon in
Alcohol.
it or something in it, Well, it's rich. It's very rich.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know. Can you guys hear it? But this is the chicken cacciatore, and it's cooking away. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to have a little bit of a hint
So
of
you wouldn't
flavor.
brown the chicken first. You just cook it lightly.
What?
You wouldn't.
I
like
did brown the
you
chicken.
So sautéed it so that
No, I browned. I mean, it was browned.
brown. And did we keep the skin on it?
No,
We didn't.
I don't because it's chicken that's going to be stewed,
Yeah, so we get
and
you get loose.
and the skin falls off, and everybody goes, "What's this?"
Right.
I mean, hey, it's just really kind of up to you. I mean, everybody likes it.
I'm looking at the cake.
Okay, I made a cake, you guys. I know I'm not the baker, but I did make a cake.
You keep on saying you're not the baker.
Well, I'm not a particularly.
You make rockin' cupcakes. Cupcake queen.
Okay, what you want to do is you want to cook the flour. You don't want to just. So you want the butter to be kind of bubbling a little bit around the flour and leave it for a minute or so and see how it's kind of. Can you
Yeah,
see it?
yeah.
Can you guys see it? And okay, so some people do it really fancy and they heat the milk up and pour it in. And my guess is I don't do it. I just pour it in. And it's about 2 cups. And this is going to get thickened up from the butter and the flour. It has like a real subtle flavor to it. Sometimes I put some Parmesan cheese in it.
Why can't we do that today?
We can do that.
Have we used all the cheese up?
No, I have plenty of cheese. So what we'll do is right before we pour it, we'll add the cheese to it. We're going to turn the chicken down a little bit. Can you hear it bubbling? You don't want to bubble it that hard. Won't hurt it, but.
Is there
So-
an Italian dish that uses anchovies?
Oh, yes.
I love anchovies. They have all different
And,
ways that they
anchovies
look.
Worcestershire sauce has anchovies in it, much to some people who don't want to know that, but that's true. That's where a lot of the flavor comes from.
And
And that's why it has that deepening, and it has that real deep flavor to it, and that's from the anchovies.
and actually, Caesar salad.
Caesar
dressing.
salad dressing.
And they don't make Caesar salads table sides anymore with like the eggs because of the salmonella thing.
Yeah.
That whole
you mean-
drama, the days when it was scotch and steak and waitresses were great broads and they did stuff tableside and flambéed. Those
Yeah.
days are gone.
Well,
But they used to make Caesar salad tableside.
that was real popular for a long time. So anyway, this is cooking, and in a few seconds it'll be thick, and we'll pull out the lasagna and see what it looks like. And then we'll be right back when I pull out the lasagna. Okay, we're going to take the lasagna's done. We're going to take that foil off it. You know what? Just be really careful
Wow.
because it's
Wow.
hot. And I made the bechamel sauce. We're just going to pour it over the top.
So when they're at home and so that they do this safely and don't get burned, you would
Yeah.
typically put that on a surface.
Yeah, but you
And
just
not
have
do
to
this.
be. You could, but you just have to be careful. It's not really. If you hold it, it's kind of a real liquidy sauce, and it doesn't. You can see it's going to go all over. It sort of flows. So we're going to use a spoon to sort of smear it around. It just adds a really nice. And you requested, I have Asiago. How about that?
Yes.
I know she likes Asiago. Asiago is a good cheese. It's a little bit mellower than Parmesan, and it'll melt on this really nicely. So, okay. If you don't want to put cheese on it, that's fine.
That leaves more cheese for us to eat.
Yeah, but it tastes good.
I think lasagna might be one of the most popular dishes
Well, I
of
think
all time.
Yeah, and really, I want you guys to try these no-bake noodles. I mean, they're fabulous. You can put anything in it. I mean, if you're vegetarian or somebody doesn't like tomatoes, you can do it all in a white sauce. All mushroom. Oh, it's really good.
So if a meat-based lasagna has hamburger in it, right?
No, pork,
Okay,
veal, beef, chicken. I make one with chicken, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now, I have one more sauce. Don't go away. This sauce is the sauce that's going to go on the pasta. And what's easy about this, I'm just going to use this because it's going to have cream in it too. In here I just have butter and a couple pieces, well, maybe about 2 cloves of garlic. And I'm just going to heat it up. And this time, last time I used half and half in the bechamel sauce, and this time I'm using heavy whipping cream. It's another diet dish. And this one's going to have the fresh basil. And then you're just going to pour it in. And then we're just going to let this cook. We don't, because we want the cream to cook down. So, and we want the flavor of the garlic to go through. So that's easy. I mean, you can't get any easier than that. Now, we're going to switch over here and we're going to go take you into the cake. Because I want you to, I didn't show you exactly how to make it, but sometimes baking isn't. But this should taste good, I think. Okay. So what I did was I made...
Looks like a giant ladyfinger.
Well, kind of is, because this is a butter cake. This is a vanilla butter cake. Actually, I got it at Trader Joe's. They have this really good mix. But the thing is, it has like a cup of milk, 2 eggs, and a cube of butter.
And that's jam in there?
And no, then I made a custard with vanilla pudding.
Oh my God.
I made a custard with, I used a vanilla pudding and 1 cup of, actually this time I used a non-fat half and half. And then I put in a half a cup of mascarpone, which sort of overshadowed the fact that I used a non-fat half and half. But anyway.
What's mascarpone?
Mascarpone's an Italian cream cheese. And I whipped that together with the pudding. Then I took, and because I wanted to show people that all year long, I mean, you don't have to use fresh berries. I used a package of frozen mixed berries from Trader Joe's. Put those in a pan. Put a cup of sugar. Let it cook for maybe like about 5 minutes, just enough to dissolve all the sugar in it. Then I took a little bit, maybe about 2 or 3 tablespoons of like any kind of fruit juice you have. I don't care, apple, orange, pomegranate, anything, and cold, and mix that with some cornstarch, because you have to mix cornstarch with cold. You can't add cornstarch into hot liquid because otherwise you get these little bubbles or these little chunks.
Did you make this up?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Giant ladyfinger?
Okay, filled with.
We'll have a contest.
So yeah,
Send
and
in
then
your name for this.
Well, then I put it. Then you put the cornstarch with the berries, and let it cook until it bubbles, and then it'll thicken up. Then you're gonna put it into a dish and let it get cold. Everything has to be cold. That's the only thing. So you can't really make it. The only way you could make it and eat it is if you poured it over it and ate it immediately. Then I just took whipped cream, put the top back on. I took a pint of whipped cream and another cup of mascarpone, and then I put in some Chambord, which is a little bit of vanilla I put in, and Chambord is a berry liqueur,
Right.
and that's on the top.
Wow.
And that's it.
Wow. Chambord lady. Like the board lady.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Chambord.
Chambord lady.
So yeah, so I mean the idea is that we use frozen fruit and not fresh fruit, which made it like bam, no cleaning, no nothing, any time of the year, you know.
It's really charming.
Yeah, I think it's going to taste good. Actually, I'll taste it.
Oh, I was going to volunteer.
What do you think? Where did you get it from? Did you get it from the side or from the top?
I got it over here.
Oh,
It's very good.
tastes okay?
It's very, very good.
Okay, so we're going to put this back in the fridge because it's really warm in here because
It's not overwhelmingly sweet.
No, but it will be because
In
the
the center of
fruit
the
is
custard.
sweet.
Okay.
And I don't like, I put a
That's
little bit of
charming.
powdered sugar
That's
in
really
it. But you
fun.
know, I don't like it when it gets really sweet. It doesn't taste, it's real whipped cream.
And we could cut it in the shape of a heart.
You could. And then you could eat all the other little pieces that you weren't serving.
Exactly. Valentine's Day.
Okay, you guys, we'll be right back. Okay, we're going to make some salad.
Yay!
Because we need some, well, we have vegetable lasagna and everything. We have lots of, this is a baby lettuce mix. And
Now,
this
baby
is-
lettuce, is that like a breed or a size?
It's like when it's a baby.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah. It's
That means
like-
it's more delicious,
Actually,
right?
I really honestly think, and I don't know that much about lettuces, I think that this is
The best of the best.
well, I think it's actually you know, it has generics in it, so it only grows this big. I don't think this would never, I don't
It's
know.
born to be a baby and stay a baby.
Yeah, I think that's,
never know the
I'm
joys
not
of
quite sure if
adulthood.
the name of the baby means
Okay, let's move
that
on.
it's like little, but,
Whew. That question does not go on the website.
okay.
That's
No, that's a good question though.
I thought it was.
You know, because there's a lot of organic growers and stuff like that. This is an organic mix, and there's a lot of organic growers. And
Are you going to talk about the beast on the?
and
on the-
I just want you to know this triple washed. I'm just not dumping lettuce out. If it didn't say triple wash, I would wash it. And even if it said triple wash, normally I would wash it sometimes. But this is okay. This is triple wash, so I know it's pretty good. But I did get a package of lettuce like that the other day, and it didn't say anything. It didn't say it was washed. It didn't say wash, to wash, or you should wash. There was nothing on it, and I found that to be a little bit disturbing because I would have thought that it at least put some sort of label on it that said, please wash this before you use it, or it's been triple washed, or whatever. But anyway, I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions about it, and this is this young lady sitting right here.
I think it's a boy.
I don't know. Could be. Could be both.
Oh,
I don't know. But it's a
hermaphrodite.
Romanesco
Hermaphrodite.
broccoli. Actually, what that means is it's a Roman broccoli. Okay, so it says you can cook it like conventional broccoli, but you don't overcook it. It has a texture more like cauliflower. It's actually more suited to raw use as crudettes, which is crudettes like,
I
you
thought
know.
it was crudité.
Oh, crudité.
I got it right.
Okay, I don't know. Crudettes, I don't know. Make
I'm a
crudité.
hostess.
Okay,
I'm a hostess
okay,
first.
crudité.
Before.
So then you would use this and probably make some sort of like a blue cheese dip or some aioli or something like that.
Yeah.
It has a milder flavor, more creamier and nuttier and less bitter than conventional broccoli and cauliflower.
What's not to like?
And LJB Farms gave that to me, and so I wanted you all to know it because I've never used
And
it.
they have the best apples over there.
Yeah.
I can't find apples that have taste.
So now we're making a salad, and in here I have some garbanzo beans and some red beans and some black olives, and I've rinsed them, and then I threw the olives in. I didn't rinse the olives, but I like my beans rinsed. I don't know why, I just do. And so then we have some
Artichoke.
artichokes, marinated
Do you
artichokes.
say artichoke?
Artichoke.
I say artichoke. 'Cause I'm from the East Coast.
And a lot of people from the East Coast don't really know what artichokes are because they're California, you know. Castroville and everything.
Well, try to explain it to somebody who's never eaten
I know.
an artichoke.
And they don't know.
When they're
They think,
steamed.
oh, yeah.
You have to like turn 3 times to the west and once to the east and
They're like, huh?
bless yourself.
You're like gnawing on a leaf.
It's a complicated vegetable.
But they're really good, like barbecued.
I just use it as a vehicle for mayonnaise. That's my only interest.
Or some sort of aioli.
Or some sort
I
of
knew she
aioli.
was going to be picking. So, okay, so we got that, and the idea is that this salad is like an antipasti
Oh, that's a
salad.
Okay, I
you know,
understand that.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the idea is that it's not this big, huge.
I would
you
like
know-
some sun-dried tomatoes in it.
Okay,
Do you have
she
some?
likes sun-dried tomatoes.
Do you
I
have
know
some?
she does. No, I don't.
Oh.
But you know, the idea was that you didn't have to put all fresh ingredients because different times of the year tomatoes are like really expensive. I mean, they're really expensive, and they don't taste as good.
You know what? They don't.
They just I don't care if they say hot house or not. They don't taste like a
The
tomato.
hydrogenated ones, I
Yeah,
don't think have
they
as
have a
much
funny
flavor.
flavor to them. So this is it, and then we're going to use this really wonderful olive oil, and we'll dress it when we put out the buffet. I'm going to use some of this beautiful olive oil.
Now, do you find that there's, when you spend $50 on a bottle of olive oil or $20, whatever, that more expensive, like wine, the quality doesn't?
Well, it changes. It changes. You know, olive oils are really interesting. There's olive oils from all over the world. You know, there's olive oils from Spain and Portugal and
wherever
you know,
wherever there are olive
Are
trees.
we're boiling somewhere. Are
Right
we
over
having
here.
some noise? I'm going to turn this down. And my pasta's ready too. I just thought I would let you guys know. I put remember we did the cream with the garlic in it and the butter. So I poured that into and it was what kind of
Penne.
Very good. I made some penne and I poured that in with the cream, added the cream to it, and then we sprinkled it with the fresh basil that I had. If you don't have fresh basil, go ahead and use a little bit of some pesto, or like I told you, basil, chop it, olive oil, put it in the freezer. And that's in the oven right now, and it's ready, and the chicken's ready. So, okay. All right. You know what that is? I'll just let you guys know. If you hear something, it's my stove automatically pulling air to cool itself off because I've had a lot of stuff, we've cooked a lot of stuff, and it does it automatically. So if you hear that background sound, don't worry. Nothing's going to explode. So, okay. We're over here, and we were talking about the olive oil.
Do you get what you pay for?
You get what you, well, yeah. I mean, I use olive oil from all over.
Because for me, going to wineries is as fun as buying wine is to look at their olive oil.
Oh, yeah.
Mustards.
And you can go to, they have stores where you taste it. And here's some fresh red onion.
Oh, big time.
And you know, and everybody has like a different taste of what they like. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get everything out, and we'll be right back. Okay. Food. Time to eat. Lasagna, vegetarian lasagna over here. That was the first thing that we put together. You notice we've got the topping on it now, the bechamel. Then we made some chicken cacciatore. And the one thing that I really didn't show you too much was this was the penne that I cooked, and then remember I made a sauce with butter, garlic, and just heavy cream. I poured that over the top of it, and then put some fresh basil on it, and stuck it back in the oven for about 10 minutes just to get it all heated up. It isn't a thick sauce. It's just sort of a creamy sauce. We're going to serve some focaccia bread with it, so you'll be able to sop it up with.
And this is penne.
And this is, yes, penne.
Penne.
Penne. And then this is the lasagna. I wanted to show you. See, we cut it. It's been cool. It has to sit for a while and cool.
Bellissimo.
And here's your salad, and we dressed it with wonderful
Which, as you
olive
said,
oil.
it's like an antipasta.
It's like an antipasta. And then here's our
chambard
chambord
lady.
So I want to thank you all for being here, and we're going to have Sarah. She's going to talk a little bit about some wonderful wine that's going to go with this dinner. But I wanted to make sure that I said thank you to, of course, Trader Joe's and LJB Farms and Avery's Winery.
Aber Family Vineyards.
Aber Family Vineyards. And this really beautiful...
Ventorio olive oil.
We put it on the salad, and then we drank the rest of the bottle. It was that good. And then we put some balsamic vinegar, salt and pepper, and that was it. So
Abundanza.
I just wanted to make sure that I said thank you to everybody because they've been so good to me for all this time. And thank you to Maria, who does this beautiful pottery. She's a firefighter, so not only does she save lives and do wonderful things for people.
She fires pots.
She does wonderful pottery. So we're going to make up a plate and show you what we've cooked on a plate. And then Sarah's going to talk to you about the Aber Family Vineyard wines. So we'll be right back.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Okay, this is a segment of the wine place of what we're going to figure out because I'm so bad at this. And Sarah is an expert.
I'm not an expert.
Well, for me, you're an expert.
I'm on the path.
Well, for me, you're an expert.
I'm on the path.
So this is Aber Family Vineyards and they're bringing us some wonderful wine. And you specifically picked that winery.
John Aber makes organic. He farms organically. And I know that the vegetables are local, so I thought, why not, instead of going to get a Chianti Classica Reserva and a Super Tuscan, we actually have wines here in our own
own area.
Uvis Valley, one of the oldest wine-growing valleys in California. They're making superb wines. And John is kind of going to the Rhone varietals, which are actually...
What does that mean?
What that means is the Rhone is an area in France. The northern part of the Rhone Valley has Viognier as a white, which is a wonderful low-acid white. It's yummy. I really prefer it to Chardonnay. And the Syrah reigns supreme up there. So that's the northern Rhone. Very expensive wines, some of the best wines in the world. And then when you get down the southern area, towards the Mediterranean, and actually like kind of the vegetables that we've got going, they do a lot of blends, and they do like Chateauneuf du Pape, which is, Hope here has got 4 wines in it, 4 varietals, excuse me. We have mostly Grenache, we have Syrah, Petit Syrah, and Mourvedre, and those are classic southern Rhone wines.
So where are all the grapes grown for these wines?
These are grown in Central Coast. He's got the Petit Syrah and he's got the Syrah. And the Central Coast, other vineyards that he uses are the highest quality in the Central Coast.
Okay, so I always see
this is estate. This is Cabernet. And a thing about Italian wines, one of the other things I was thinking about was a Super Tuscan. But all a Super Tuscan is it kind of breaks the rules of Chianti, and it brings in Cabernet. It brings in, you can do Merlot, you can do Sangiovese. You break kind of the Italian winemaking laws. And so they actually had to create, because of the great names in Italian winemaking that were making these wines, that deviated from the kind of restricted things that you had to do in Italy. Super Tuscans are now like one of the most probably expensive things you'll see on your wine menu. So we have the Cabernet, which is a family album, which is a 207. This is, we have the Aber family has a better version of this, which is a little bit more expensive, but this is a wonderful everyday wine. It's a fantastic wine with lasagna and pastas and spaghettis. The Hope is a little bit more expensive. This is an amazing blend. And what you're looking for when you're pairing with food is you always want the acid and the tannins to balance out. If you have like a fireplace wine, it'll be very soft tannins, very low acidity. And you don't need the fat and proteins in food to kind of counteract that mouthfeel. This has acidity and soft tannins where it's perfect with Italian food. So it's really a wonderful pairing. And one of the things I like to do, they also have a Petit Syrah that's called Blessings that's so big and so fabulous. The name is kind of weird. You think it's like Little Sarah. It's one of the biggest wines in the world. And we actually, when they serve it up there, decant it for like 2-3 hours before the wine tasting room opens. So I'm
Okay, so wait a minute. So what does that mean, the decanting? See, that's the part
aeration.
that I always see you do.
Air is the enemy of wine that is resting on its side, waiting to be opened and enjoyed. Air is the enemy. When you're ready to enjoy it, air is your best friend. You want to aerate it. The bigger the wine, the more the alcohol. It literally will change. So I've got some wines that I'll open, and 3 days later is when I really start to enjoy them, after they've been opened.
Well, so what's the thing that you use to aerate it?
This is a rabbit aerator. They have them now where they actually fit into the bottle.
Oh.
And this is a strainer. The strainer is really only applicable when you have an older red wine.
When it's got all that stuff
Because
at the
the
bottom?
thing, red wines get lighter with age, and white wines get darker with age. And part of the reason the red wines get lighter is that their sediment is bonding with chemical.
So that's that stuff at the bottom.
Well, it's the stuff at the bottom. So we don't really need this, but it's kind of sexy and fun. So
Okay.
we're just going to probably decant. I think we'll just use the aerator for the family album. And this will
Okay,
be,
and then I'm going to taste it.
you're going to taste it. So I'm going to decant the this Hope, because this is one of my favorite wines.
This is so cool. Listen to it. Isn't that cool?
And the reason it's called Hope is the winery is right near the fire that we had a few years ago. That was the hummingbird fire. It started at Clos La Chance. And the fire was stopped just outside the Avers' home, and they were ready to be evacuated.
Ooh.
And Carolyn Avers said, I know what I want to name the new wine. She said, let's hope the house doesn't burn down. So I'm going to let you have a little taste. I want you to taste it before we aerated it.
I know nothing about it.
Well, you're just going to you'll be able to tell a difference. That's all we're doing here today. This is just a really light introduction
Tastes pretty good
to
to
the
me. Like
world
this.
of wine. Okay.
It's not well. Red wines you don't refrigerate.
Actually,
Or do they
like a
start
Pinot
doing
Noir,
that?
I do like to refrigerate a Pinot Noir. The temperatures were based on the Chateau cellars. And when you get to California, the New World, the conditions are hotter. And believe me, if you have a warmer red wine, it starts to taste rough in the back of your throat. And
Okay, now I'm
hot.
going to try it.
Now you're tasting it aerated, and I'm going to pinch you if you don't agree that it tastes different. Swirl it. It's important to swirl.
Now the swirling gets the air in it.
What the swirling does is it releases. It's called esters, and it's not Esther Williams. It's the esters or the chemical components that have the phenols.
Well, I didn't see anybody swimming out, so.
Are you too young? Am I older than you? You don't know who Esther Williams is?
I know, that's what I said. I know Esther Williams.
You look marvelous. That was
Well,
my
I didn't
husband.
see, like I said, I didn't see anybody swimming out.
Oh, that
so
was okay. All
That was a
right.
joke.
That was funny, but it wasn't too great. So
I'm trying really because I don't know very much about wine. I don't drink a lot
you
of
know
wine.
what? A lot of people don't know, but they know what they love, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. If anyone is a wine snob around you, run, turn around, and just leave. And when I went to the school, they said
It does taste different.
it's better. It's opening up.
It really does. I'm not kidding you. It really does. It tastes better. And now I'm schnockered.
And I'll tell you really fast tips, because this is really about Judy's food, not about wine. But when you tip your glass, you're going to see something called the meniscus, just like your knee. I have a meniscus transplant in my knee, so I know very well what it looks like. What that tells you is the center's the robe. That's going to be like the core color. Red wines have different colors based on their alcohol
does.
content. And the rim is going to tell you if it's a wide rim and it's pink, that's a young wine. If there's any brownish tint to that edge right there, it's going to be an aged wine.
Oh.
The whiter and waterier, there's going to be a high alcohol content. And then when you swirl, they talk about legs. What you're looking at is glycol content and alcohol content. If it ever sheets and has like a stained glass effect, that's a big alcoholic wine. I mean, they're making them 15% here in California and in Australia, in the New World.
What is it normally?
Well, that's a big debate. If you go to Wine Spectator or talk to wine experts, it's kind of like just California's palate has become used to high alcohol. So we're liking high alcohol. If you have an old world wine like from the Burgundy region, it'll be 12.5, and it tastes watery to us. So it's just basically what your palate was used to.
Well, we didn't toast.
And toast. So this is
Toasting to a fun show.
to a fun show. Thank you so much for listening to my little wine banter.
Oh no, we need
I
to
think
know
my face
these
got
things.
a little red.
I'm feeling really good right now.
So thank
And
you guys.
I thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys, and here's to your health and to your well-being. And I hope that you try some of these recipes. And this is my webmaster, so she has all the information. It's
cookingforallseasons.com. And as I said earlier, we would like to start our webpage where it's this idiosyncratic, quasi questions for the kitchen that Judy can answer, like how do you boil an egg properly, and all sorts of things. So if you have interest in that, we'll create that page for you guys. Thank you very much. A votre santé. Ciao, baby. And
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
To your health. Thank
To
you.
your health.
Thank you for visiting us at Cooking for All Seasons.
Wine and food doesn't get any better.
And friendship.
And friendship. Cheers.
Cheers. You know, we're sitting here sweating, remember?
I'm pretty good now.
I'm not sitting back.
I got some.
Does everybody have underarm deodorant on today?
I hear that.
I got my monkey grin on.
This is not easy.
Oh, is it heavy?
Oh, yeah, could you help her? Oh, my nose. Sorry, I knew it would start. It's because he makes me so upset. I can't help it. Wait. Oh, my nose. Okay, sorry.
Okay, it's
but
official. I'm not going to be a movie star. That
I
career
know.
path
I
is-
mean, it's hot. This is light compared to the way it is sometimes. You know, when he can't figure out what he's doing. Okay, let's go. I'm sorry, it was itchy. I don't want to go like that. Okay. You know, so thank you to, of course, Trader Joe's and LJB Farms and Avery's Winery.
Aber Family
Aber-
Vineyards.
Aver Family Vineyards.
Vineyards.
And this really beautiful Frantonio. Okay, you're going to have to cut that one. And I want to thank Frantonio.
Frantorio olive oil.
We put it on the salad and then we drank the rest of the bottle. It was that good. Okay, what would you like me to do? You want me to make you a plate? Is that what you would like? Like Robert said?
I think that's a good idea.
I think that'd be great.
And
Okay.
move the rest of the stuff over there, and then
Where should we move it?
someplace else. And then Sarah.
Now, why do I ask? You know? Why do I ask him?